Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we are going to fly the very latest update of the TFDI design MD-11 freighter, and they have released quite the couple of changes over the past 2 days. Looking at the changelog over here, you can see we've got one on the 25th, one on the 24th over here. And well, just look at that huge changelog. I'm not gonna go over every single one item over here. I think with that many updates, it's just best to take her out for a flight and see how she's going to perform. Overall, a lovely extensive changelog over here, as you can see, so I'm really looking forward to this. My favorite is most definitely that they have added the ability to view the flight plan from within the virtual cockpit. Now let's attempt and get up those GSX stairs over here. It should be working somehow. Not too much today it seems, so yeah, just follow me upstairs and we can head inside our MD-11 and take a seat on the captain's seat for our flight from Frankfurt to Bangalore. Beautiful sunset departure followed by a beautiful sunrise arrival today, so overall really looking forward to this. And yeah, it is based on the real-world Lufthansa schedule flight 8366, I believe it is. Yep, 8366, up here it is, and these are the real-world flight times. Okay, then I'd say we are just going to get right into this and start setting our airplane up, or at least powering it up. So the logbook is checked. Then we've got the circuit breakers, which are all checked to be in. Emergency equipment is on board. Weather radar switch is off. The fuel switches up there are off, all three of them. And parking brake is released for the time being. Spoiler and flap handles are up. The gear handle is down. Fuel dump and manifold switches are guarded. The emergency power selector is off, and then we can turn on our battery. We are also going to turn on the external power unit over here. Now, let's wait for the displays to power up, and with that done, let's move up here, do the APU fire test. And that is done. So then, our IRSs number 1, 2, and 3 are going to come on. That is also going to do the automatic cargo fire test up here, and that is looking good down here as well. Let's also bring those lights up a little bit, or rather those displays over here, provided that we can reach those switches. Here we are. Alright, that's a bit better, isn't it? Makes them a little bit easier to read. Like that. Okay, lovely. Then, flight deck lights, let's go ahead and turn on all the backlighting. This is mostly going to be a night flight. We're also going to turn on the nav and the logo lights over here. So yeah, mostly night flight, but all the ground jobs is going to happen during daylight, which I kind of appreciate, giving us lovely views of everything today. Okay, so APU, well, 8 degrees, it's rather cold, but is not really needed just yet, especially since we don't have passengers on board. So let's move into the electronic flight bag and see one of the changes over here, which is the View OFP button that has been added to the aircraft. Now, we're going from Frankfurt to Bangalore, departing at 16:15, so yeah, we came out of security control a little late here. 16:04 right now, so we will depart with maybe 10 minutes of delay, but that's fine. Then looking down into our charts, we are departing Frankfurt and then heading down across the Sinai Peninsula and then across Saudi Arabia all the way down to India. Now, our significant weather chart is pretty clear for the first half of the flight, pretty clear for the middle half of the flight, and pretty clear for the last half of the flight. Now, don't ask me why I'm quoting 3 halves over here. No comment on that, okay? Alright, and then we can get right down into our airport weather. So Frankfurt's pretty good, low-lying clouds though, so we are going to see whether they are using low-vis procedures or not. Our destination in Bangalore, beautiful weather and going to stay that way, and for our arrival tomorrow morning, even 6,000 meters visibility, which isn't too bad. We do have a departure alternate in Leipzig, because why wouldn't they with those clouds, and our destination alternate in Chennai for an arrival time at 0100 UTC. Yes, well, not perfect, but 1,000 meters visibility, patches of fog. That is okay. Alright, so with all of that in mind, let's move up and have a look. Departing 16:15, we're going to arrive just about on schedule. We are right up at the maximum takeoff weight, 500 kilos shy of it, and well, we do have margins to the zero fuel and landing weight limits. already planned a Costinix 80, so we're probably not going to be able to make up much of it. So going down into the fuel section, we got 86.4 plus 700, which is 87.1. We can't really round that up too much. Let's make it 87.5, and then we're good to go. So we got 196.8 for the zero fuel weight. Let's do it this way. 196,800, and then for the fuel, we've just said that we wanted 87.5. What did we say? 86.5? Not 100% sure. Set that. And just another look. 87.5. Okay, perfect. Alright, cool. So with that, we are all set up here, and we can go right back down into the FMS. So FMC1, and let's also go ahead and order GSX to start loading our aircraft now. And in here we got an MD-11 with a CF6 engine. The nav database is up to date. Then we can import our flight plan. So send that to the FMC, please. And we're going from Frankfurt to Bangalore, and that IRS position does look believable. So initialize IRS. Okay. And with that done, we have done everything we needed to do for our standard pre-flight. So why don't we go outside and commence a walk around? With all those lovely changes they've done in the airplane, I think we could definitely go out and have a look. So starting right up here, and I really gotta say they have worked on that external model. Now, the public release in early 2026 was already quite nice, but they've really gone out of the way to do a lot of smaller improvements over here. So while we're doing the walk around, just take in that lovely MD-11 model. This is really something that I do appreciate. Now moving to the back, they are, well, not yet loading any cargo, so checking for those static ports. Let's get around the loader and have a very quick look at the wing route and everything over here. This is all looking fantastic. I just love doing walkarounds on these wide-body aircrafts. It's just amazing, isn't it? So, our CF6 engine is looking quite good. No damages from any of the engine pods hitting the ground over here, so that's all looking fantastic. The leading edges are looking good as well, and we got the green nav light on the right-hand side. Our winglet is looking fantastic, and we got both nav lights on the back side. Then having a look at the trailing edge and trying not to get run over by any of the vehicles over here. Don't do that in the real world. Okay, so getting down to the landing gear, and down here we do unfortunately not have any brake wear indicator pins modeled, but the rest of the landing gear is looking pretty good. And well, then we've got all those tires and everything checked. So let's move on to the center wheel, which is looking fantastic down here. Everything perfect. Alright. So then we can continue moving on to the back of the airplane, and I mean, just look at this wonderful modeling over here. Also like the textures of the Lufthansa cargo livery over here, especially with all those lovely stickers they got on their fuselage, like the Aktion Deutschland Hilft, which is an aid organization. And well, honestly, this just looks fantastic, doesn't it? The entire tailplane of the MD-11 is just... Number one, look at how huge this actually is. I mean, doing those walkarounds really gives you a sense of how big those wide-body aircraft are. That's something that I do find a little sad in flight simulation, that many times when you're flying a wide-body aircraft, you're actually losing sense of how big it actually is, because the cameras are always correctly zoomed so that you can see the entire plane and stuff like that, but I mean, look at this. This just tells you we're at a normal height of human over here, and this really gives you a sense of how large those aircraft really are. Also look at how large those flaps are on the MD-11. You can just really see how much they pushed the aerodynamic boundaries of the former DC-10. So all the working lights, leading edges are all looking good as well. And then we're getting right down to our number 1 engine. Very quick look at the back of it, and this is all fine. Quick look below, no scrap marks or anything, all looking fantastic. And then finally we got the engine intake. All the fan blades, everything looking fantastic, no scrap marks or anything. Beautiful airplane, absolutely beautiful airplane. And the outflow valve is correctly operating as well. Alright, looks like they've started loading our main deck already as well. So let's get right back up again and make our way back into the flight deck. By the way, just love watching this. Okay. So then, let's get right into the flight deck so that we're ready as quickly as possible in order to finally make an on-time arrival. I mean, I've already given up on the on-time departure over here, but we can surely do it for the arrival, can we? So it looks like those thunderstorm lights don't really make much of a difference just yet, but we will get there. We will get there. Okay, so starting with our flight deck setup, this is all looking good. We do have some livestock cargo today, so we are going to heat those cargo holds up a little bit. Down here everything's looking good. Then hydraulic pressure test is in progress. Emergency power is armed. Then on the air panel everything is looking good. On the fuel panel we can do the quantity test. On the emergency lights, no smoking signs on, and the rest is looking good on those switches down here. Then let's go to the top. We are going to start with the GPWS test. Moving further down, let's do the annunciator light test. All looking good. Refueling. It's finished, 87.5 are on board. So reset the fuel used, and then we're getting down to the main panel. Do you want the QNH in hectopascals? Traffic data, airport, VORs. The middle is set. On the right side, traffic data, airport, VORs, and hectopascals. Down here, hectopascals are selected as well. So, auto brake, on to takeoff. Frequencies to be set later on, and squawk 2000, transponder above. Middle is all looking good. What do we have on the mist panel there? Just the doors, that's okay. And on the right hand side we can already tune 21.5. For our emergency frequency, actually that's 24.5. What is that click spot doing? Look at where my mouse is. Alright, this is better. Alright, listen to VHF 1, 2 and the interphone, and on this side 1, 2 and the interphone as well. Okay, so far so good. Then let's go ahead and have a look into... Oh, lovely. Why is it constantly signing me out a Navigraph all the time? Okay, well, let's quickly sign back in again. By the way, interesting that it can get the SimBrief data, but not the Navigraph data. But okay. So, we're going to depart from Frankfurt. Let's find that. So, we are going to start on the airport chart down here, and we got a departure radius on 118.73. So, let's listen to that real quick and see what we are going to be up to.
Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Clouds broken 300 feet. Overcast 600 feet. Prevent weather mist. Temperature 8. 2.8. QNH 1024 hectopascal. Trend. Becoming clouds overcast 500 feet. Information Charlie out. Frankfurt departure information Charlie. Met report time 1120. Runways in use 25 center and 18. Transition level 60. Wind 210 degrees 8 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Clouds broken 300 feet. Overcast 600 feet. Prevent weather mist. Temperature 8. 2.8. QNH1024.
Okay, so the weather is
hectopascal.
on board already, then let's go right back down to the guard frequency. And well, they do have runway 18 in use, so that's the most likely one for us to get, so let's plan with that. Okay, then we can start our setup. So we're going from Echo Delta Fox to Victor Oscar Bravo Lima, and our alternate is Victor Oscar Mike Mike. Like that. So, flight number Golf Echo Charlie 8366. So, cruise levels starting in 310, later on 33 and 350. So, the temperature up there is minus 50 degrees and we have an average tailwind of 39 knots. And the cost index is 80. Okay, then on to our flight plan page. So, departing Frankfurt, runway 18, and we have the Cindy 8 Sierra departure. Insert. And for the arrival, we're looking at the Gunim 7 Echo for runway 7 left. So, wobble, star. We're looking at the ILS approach runway 9 left and Gunim 7 Echo. And insert. Okay, that's our flight plan inserted. For the progress page, we're looking at 4,439 miles and 4,436 miles are filed, so that's actually looking pretty good. Then let's return to the init page, next page, and do a couple of weights. Zero fuel 196.8. Block fuel 87.5. And the center of gravity is to be determined. So for the rest of our fuel figures, contingency 2.3 and final 3.3. Max takeoff gross weight 283.7, that's checked, no problem. 0.7 taxi fuel, now we are within limits. Okay, and final we set 3.3. Okay, that's looking good so far. So all the stuff is calculated and in, then we are basically done with our FMS setup. We just got to cross-check that our SID is actually correct. So let's bring up the plan mode. Let's find the departure chart, Cindy 8 Sierra. Here it is. Okay, so straight at Delta Fox 158 above 800, left turn 171, max 220 above 2,500. And that's what we got. And then we continue via 173, 174 above 4,200. Like that, and 170 above 5,000. And then via Amtix to Cindy, initial climb clearance 4,000. Which is pre-selected, and that's it. So, looks like they just finished our loading process. Then let's go ahead and start the APU, please. Okay, and then we are basically done with the setup down here. Runway heading we can set on 176, and that's it for now. So, QNH 1024. Set, and set. And we can already select barometric on the minimums down there. And that's it. Alright. Cool. So we are done with our setup. The APU is on and APU power on. Okay. And we can also turn air conditioning on and disconnect the external power. Alright, so all the lovely stuff is done up here, then let's go ahead and get our departure clearance.
Copy, 2 November.
Frankfurt Tower, schönen guten Tag. Lufthansa Cargo 8366, heavy information, Charlie, request clearance to Bangalore.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, Frankfurt Tower, hello, cleared Bangalore, Cindy 8 Sierra, flight en route, initially 4000, squawk 1212.
Lufthansa Cargo H366 is cleared to Bangalore, Cindy 8 Sierra, climb 4000, squawk 1212.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, is correct.
Alright, so we've got runway 18, Cindy 8 Sierra, climb 4000 and squawk 1212. Alright, that's all done and that's all set. Then we get rid of this and start our departure briefing, please. And in the meantime, you can prepare the position for pushback and departure. Alright, we're departing Frankfurt, runway 18, Cindy 8 Sierra, departure. Initial climb 4000 and we've got an MSA of 4300. Extra fuel on time, we got about a ton, that gives us, yeah, 10 minutes in the best case. More like 5. Alright, no hotspots for a taxi out and our stop margin is maybe a couple hundred meters at best, probably not much. Engine out sits straight at 25 miles to the Frankfurt X3 point, and if we need to make an immediate return, we are above the maximum landing weight. So overweight landing procedures, evaluate whether we have the time available to dump some fuel, and then we are going to decide on the further course of action there. If we absolutely need to, 4,000 meters of runway are available, so an immediate return would be possible. In terms of specials, we got that 220 knot restriction and the 2,500 foot altitude constraint, which we will be able to meet, but again, we cannot retract the flaps, or rather the slats all the way. We'll have to evaluate the speeds in a few moments when we have the time available. Okay, apart from that, nothing special or non-standard, and threats for the departure, I do not see any. Okay, that's our departure briefing completed. Good, do you have questions on that? Nope? Alright, then let's go ahead and go into our takeoff performance calculation. So takeoff weight, we are just going to get that from the sim, which is basically maximum. Flex, anti-ice, yes, we will need it after liftoff, packs off and calculate. Flex 39, flaps 20. So flex 39, flaps 20, and we can pre-select that here as well. Flaps 20. Alright, so slope and wind basically are not playing a role today. Temperature 8 degrees Celsius. Thrust reduction and acceleration altitude, we will use 1,400 each.
Wind 200 reach 8 knots, 125 center, cleared for takeoff.
And engine out acceleration 1900. Now let's look into the speeds. We got 65, 77 and 81. So 65, 77, 81, they all match. Good. Okay, and lastly, no, not direct, but in it. Down here we can accept those CGs. Takeoff CG 2.2. I don't believe that. Definitely don't believe that. Okay, we'll leave it for the time being, we'll get back to it. Okay, so takeoff page here, flight plan page there, and then we've got everything pre-selected. So takeoff config warning is looking good, and parking brake is set. Then we can remove all the ground equipment, GPU and chocks. Okay, and then we are basically ready to go. And we can pre-select that frequency as well, 3613. Okay, lovely. So we are all set up, then let's go ahead and do the cockpit checklist, please. Gear pins removed, pitot-static system checked, cabin signs on, FCP set, speedband 0 taxi, altimeters QNH 1024 reading A 380 set left and set right. Fuel 87.5 tons. System display status checked. System modes, auto. Takeoff data inserted. Auto brake. Takeoff. Takeoff warning checked. Flap takeoff selector 20. Cockpit checklist complete.
Lufthansa 400 via Lima 3, winds 28, correction 210 degrees, 8 knots, runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff.
Via Lima 3, 25 center, cleared for takeoff, Lufthansa 400.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366 Heavy, request pushback and startup.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, Lufthansa Cargo 8366. Okay. So, standard pushback for now, and ground from cockpit. Please confirm that all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed. Roger that, then we are clear to push, standard pushback, and the parking brake is now released. Roger, start the push, and we called it off block at 27, that's 12 minutes late. Yep, that's copied, thank you. Okay, we are standing by for the clearance to start the engines. Before start checklist. Cabin secured, mobiles off, engine ignition A, beacon on, system modes, auto, parking brake released. Before start checklist complete. So ground flight deck, we're ready for engine start, sequence 312, and we'll commence engine 3 now.
Lufthansa 7, Lima Foxtrot, Frankfurt Tower,
engine 3 start.
Hello, I call you, set score 1000.
N2.
Austrian 135, in how many minutes can I expect taxi?
I was just about to call Austrian 135 ready for taxi.
135,
so,
perfect timing,
fuel
18
flow,
by November,
EGT.
7 November. Austrian 135, confirm November, 7 November.
That last transmission was cut off, but November 7 and November for Austrian 135.
Lufthansa 7, Lima Foxtrot, one clear of Austrian A321, left to right, push and start approved, area 6.
So, start a cutout, monitor 3, starting 1.
Austrian traffic, left to right, area 6, Lufthansa 7, Lima Foxtrot.
So they're pulling us forward all the way to the line, so that an airplane that may be behind us could be pushing as well.
Radar 120.155, goodbye.
Fuel flow, EGT.
120, 15 Langen Radar, Lufthansa 400, choose.
And while we're on it,
Lufthansa
nav
9,
armed.
Frankfurt Tower, hello,
Well,
with
profile armed.
8 knots, 25
Nav
left.
doesn't want to arm, then we gotta engage it after takeoff. That's fine. Okay, pushback completed, set parking brake.
9-3, cross Tango 4,
Parking brake set.
to Victor 110 via Lima, tschüss.
Victor 110 via Lima.
Start a cutout, monitor 1, starting 2.
Danke, ciao.
Engine 2 start. Fuel flow, EGT. Okay. Okay, ground, we have 3 good starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the pin in front and have a good day. Bye-bye. So. No eyes detected is checked. Right, and there is the clear signal after start checklist. APU off, anti-ice, engine anti-ice on, system modes auto, after start checklist complete. Lufthansa Cargo 8366, heavy, request taxi.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, give way to the Austrian A321 on November, left to right, thereafter 18 via November, right turn.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, after the Austrian left to right, taxi runway 18 via November with a right turn. Okay, here's the Austrian, and thereafter it's a right-hand turn all the way to runway 18, as we can see down here as well. We're over here, then a right turn all the way. Okay. So the Austrian is pretty much clear. Park and brake off. Let's go.
Station calling, calls are only.
Clear on the left side.
670.
And clear on the right side.
670, ready 5.
AMD 670.
Interesting, the plane is taxiing really well. We're at a very high weight, and we need very little N1 to move. Looks like TFDI have fixed this with the latest update. Remember, the previous update used a lot of N1, but it's nice to see that TFDI have actually done something about it. 30% seems absolutely believable.
München, Cindy 8, Sierra departure, initially 4000, squawk 1000.
Alright, so let's not get too fast over here, even though this section of the taxiway is not a large turn, but we don't need to go over this at 30 knots, do we? The Austrian is probably going to fly the same set as us, so I'm expecting a little bit of delay over here, so there's no need to hurry right now.
6 on the Zulu approach runway 2 knots left.
4356 Frankfurt Tower, hello.
Alright. So, taxi procedures.
Austrian 135, wind 21 degrees, 8 knots, runway 18, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 18, Austrian 135.
What is that thing doing? Just want to arm those spoilers, please.
Frankfurt Tower, Gude, Lufthansa 906, send Alpha 25, information Charlie on board, Trix is cleared.
Lufthansa 906, Frankfurt
So
Tower, hello.
this gentleman is parking
Mike departure,
rather strangely.
70, squawk,
That looks expensive as well, if you ask me.
Lufthansa
See, there's the red line. That's where the plane should be. Because we pretty surely just slammed our tail into him.
3551.
Okay, so trim 10.5.
Lufthansa 993, welcome. Taxi Mike, Mike 30.
10.6 is also gonna do the job. And flight controls.
Mike 30, now short for... Could you repeat
Full
all the
down.
points?
Neutral. Full
Full shot
left.
of the category 2 holding point,
All
runway
right.
25 center.
Neutral. And the rudder is responding. Okay, takeoff checklist. Flight controls, checked. Flaps. 20, spoilers. Armed, trim.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366.
10.6.
Line up on 8, runway 18.
Line up await runway 18, Lufthansa Cargo 8366. Okay,
Number
trim
4356, wind
8.3,
21
0
degrees,
and
8 knots,
0,
runway 25
EAD
left,
checked, takeoff checklist
Theater land,
complete.
25 left, Condor 1456.
Lufthansa 7, Lima Foxtrot, runway 18 via November.
Okay, line up runway 18. We have figures for Lima, that's up there, so we can take our time with the lineup.
Unit Sky 231, start up.
Lufthansa 1378 Tower, hello, request extra clearance. Fafa 370 shuttle on board.
First, I need a read back from Unit Sky 231, confirm, start up approved.
Start of the route, Sky 231.
Austrian 135 identified, nothing further, Unicom.
Oh god, they're going offline again.
Austrian 135. Ciao, schönen Tag.
Ebenso, Lufthansa 993, cross 25 center, taxi right, Lima, hold short November 8.
Cross 25 center at Lima, hold short November 8, Lufthansa 993.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, wind 21 degrees, 8 knots, runway 18, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 18, clear for takeoff, Lufthansa Cargo 8366, heavy. Okay, ready?
Lufthansa
And brakes are off, take off.
Lufthansa 906, push and start approved, area 3.
Stabilized.
Lufthansa approved, area 3,
Auto flights.
Lufthansa 906.
1378 ready.
By the way, just look at how the airplane automatically switches all the bleeds off there.
1378, cleared Gdansk.
Okay, takeoff thrust set, indications normal.
70 squawk
100 knots.
Tabak 4 Whiskey departure, New York Mile, Hotel 70, squawk 1000, Lumas 137, thank you.
V1,
1378, feedback correct.
rotate. Pause and climb. Gear up. Why are we climbing so good? We should be right at the maximum takeoff weight. Okay, nav. Gonna keep those flaps extended here.
Lufthansa Cargo
And autoflight.
8366, radar just went offline. Point advisory, schön flugtisch.
Ah, damn it. 1228, Lufthansa Cargo 8366. Sure.
Condor 4356.
Alright, then we continue the climb. The next clearance would have been 110.
Shortcut to rolling point.
Like that, in profile mode.
Holding shortcut to Condor 4356.
Air 670, request startup.
Station calling, say again.
Okay, 1228, engine anti-ice off. Honestly, we are climbing too good. I think GSX fucked up our cargo. And we're locked out of it. God damn it! Set standard. Standard cross-check, passing level 50 now. Yeah, what are we gonna do now? We're probably flying at 0 cargo, because we're just climbing too well. That would be typical GSX. I just hate it when add-ons are that invasive. But yeah, can't do much about it now. If TFDI locks us out of the payload page, then yeah, we are stuck now. And we just gotta fly this way. No comment. Just no comment. Fuck, I hate GSX. If any developer hears this, please, please make a good add-on for ground services. Alright then, let's fly direct to Lampu. Taking a little shortcut over here. Well, down here it says optimum 296, but then again, what does it say in here? Can't it measure any of those weights? I think we had that option installed. Well, empty. Okay, well, suppose we can't do much about it. So the flight plan wants us in level 310 at first. I suppose we are gonna do that. So let's go all the way up to flight level 310. And yeah, now let's ask the important question. ETA 0113, and the flight plan wants us there at 0115. Alright, on time. There's that at least. Okay, so flaps up. Now we're past all of those speed restrictions at least. And now we're getting contact knees. So they just came back online, so we just caught the worst possible moment. See guys, that's why I like using AI ATC, because it just gives you... It just gives you, you know, the certainty that ATC will be there. Alright, so passing 100.
Squawk 1000, Pendular, Lima Bravo uniform, first 1, Lima Foxtrot.
German Navy 87, fly heading 100.
Heading 100, German Navy 87.
Lang radar, schönen guten Abend. Lufthansa Cargo 8366 Heavy, Level 103, climbing 310 inbound Lampu.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, lang good track, climb flight level 310, direct Nombo.
Direct Nombo, climbing level 310, Lufthansa Cargo 8366. So, direct to Nombo. Alright. Well, I think then we have done about everything we had to do. Forgot one thing, that's turning the weather radar on. We can switch over to weather over here as well. That's fantastic. Alright guys, so I'd say sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us, and then, well, let's release our supernumeraries, and then I'll see you all when we start the approach over in Bangalore. Enjoy the sunset, enjoy the sunrise, and enjoy the beautiful night skies across Europe and Arabia.
Have approach runway 07, first 1, Lima Foxtrot.
Good morning, my friends. I hope I didn't promise you too much with that spectacular sunset and sunrise again. Now, we're on the approach into Bangalore. The sun is just rising at 6:30 in the morning roughly, and we are starting our approach to the ILS runway 09 left. Let's go ahead and have a little look into the arrivals that we are flying, because we got a couple of ones here. We're starting on the Gunim 7 Echo arrival, which is Gunum, Olnur, Bravo Lima 805 below level 150, and then we got Apuk, max 185 knots above level 85, and that's pretty much exactly what we are following right now, inbound 806 below 150, and then Apuk up there. From there we'll proceed directly to the final for the ILS approach for runway 9 left, which starts out in 9.7 DME EBAN, 6,000 feet, 3-degree descent, and down to a minimum of 3,205. The field elevation is pretty high over here with 3,000 feet field elevation, so if you're wondering why we got such a high minimum, it's just 200 feet above the ground really. MSA 6,000 in the approach sector, and well, 5,500 on the missed approach. Technically speaking, 6,000. Well, the missed approach climbs to 7,000 anyway, so that's not going to be any of our problem. We did, however, have the classical GSX problem. And airplane, why are you slowing down? Don't slow down, please. 310, give me that. So yeah, we did have the weight problem. Look at that, remaining fuel 21.5 tons. In other words, we are definitely much lighter than what's indicated up here, which is most likely because GSX would have unloaded all of our payload. That's really the only consistent theory for this. And it did happen in the past, so I'm kind of imagining that it would happen now. Okay, so let's continue our descent over here. We got about 60 miles to run, 10,000. Don't need to descend quickly, but I'd rather have a little descent here than flying level. Okay, so yeah, we will be a lot lighter than planned, and that comes with a couple of threats that we are going to face for our approach. But let's start with a normal approach briefing, and then I fill you in on the threats in a few moments. And while we're at it, interesting, we are on maximum brightness here already. Just wondering, cause... okay, it's just gotten a lot brighter in the last 2 minutes. Okay, that's fine, then we might as well just turn those lights off. And here we go. Okay, so yeah, let's start the briefing. Good past 7 Echo arrival, and ILS runway 09 left, MSA 6000, down to minimum of 3205, go around is left turnout, climbing 7000, extra fuel and time, yeah, several hours. No comment on that. Okay, so for the approach, we are flying flight director guided ILS approach, flaps 35, auto brake minimum, maximum reverse to vacate the runway to the right hand side, and then taxi to the cargo apron. We've got nothing special, we've got nothing non-standard, and we can start reducing towards 250 now, since we are approaching 10,000 AGL over here. So 250 pitch, idle clamp 11,000. Okay, yeah, so that's that. Now let's talk about specials. Nothing. Non-standards. Nothing. Threats. Flaring the airplane far past the touchdown zone, because we have no idea what our ideal approach speed is going to look like. Our problem is that this is based on this, which is based on the zero fuel weight that we still see on the payload page over here. If you look in here, zero fuel weight, this is what's apparently loaded. The only problem is this is absolutely not loaded. No way it is. Because we used far less fuel, we climbed far too well, 13 minutes to cruise level at apparent max takeoff weight, never ever. Either TFDI completely messed up the update, or something unloaded our aircraft. And seeing that we've been using GSX and that it has done that same thing, for example with the INI-built Airbuses in the past, you know what I'm suspecting. Okay, and yeah, that means we are going to approach, well, probably much too fast. I will slow the plane down a little bit. It might go into the amber band in order to achieve a decent pitch on final approach. Usually MD-11 about 4 degrees pitch should be fine. So if we've got less than 4, then we absolutely know that we are too fast for the given conditions. Okay, idle clamp 6000, and you can give me 1,000 feet a minute, please. So yeah, that's the problems that we're facing for this approach. Okay, and I think that completes our briefing, does it? And of course someone is ringing the doorbell right while we are completing the briefing, and I bet with you that it's just going to be, you know, Amazon trying to deliver a package to my neighbors. In other words, I'm going to ignore it right now and fly direct to the CI. And yep, I can already hear the door of the house going, so it is Amazon delivering a package to my neighbors. I hate it when they just ring every single one doorbell, just because, you know, they want to save some time. Okay, anyway, we do a constant of flight level 70 there, so let's just dial in 70, and it looks like we are going to end up exactly down there. Okay, so that's our stuff completed down here. Let's see about the performance. So, wobble, 9 left, get weather, QNH 1013, which we've got already. Get the landing weight, and look at that, even this takes it all from the airplane's FMS. Calculate, 2,600 meters, easy. Okay. So, passing 10,000, technically speaking, should have turned the lights on at 12,000, but so what? Logo light is on, and that's it. Seatbelt signs are on already. Great. Okay, so that's all that nice stuff done. Lovely, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. Alright then, let's return into the flight deck over here. We're flying direct to the center fix, which is the 10-mile final. 20 miles out now, we are nicely below the glide slope. So let's return to FMS speed mode, and then we can just quickly set flaps 15 down here on the dial flap selector. And look at that, the sun slowly starts coming up in between those clouds. And just while we're on it, I think this is an awesome perspective, isn't it? Really awesome. I told you this would be a great time to fly. And this is the real world time of the given historic flight as well here. Checked. Alright then, approach checklist. System modes, auto, altimeters, QNH 1013, and we can just set that down here as well. Okay, approach checklist complete. So, weather doesn't seem to play too much of a role here, neither does terrain to be honest, but I'm gonna switch it over. Okay, I'll land down and flaps, no, let's extend. Speed checked. So, localizer capture, glide slope capture. Go around altitude 7000 set. Okay, speed's coming down nicely. Flaps 15. Speed checked. Flaps 15. I'm loving it when things are going this easy. Not that I would necessarily expect them to in the real world. So just pre-selecting that ground frequency, 121655. At the time we departed there would have been full ATC here in Bengaluru. Unfortunately, by now it's only ground that's left. Suppose we can't really change that now anymore, can we? And just to be sure, let's tune 122.8. Bangalore traffic, Lufthansa Cargo 8366, heavy established ILS 09 left. Okay then, gear down, flaps 28. And flaps 35. Speed check, flaps 35. That's going to be the final setting. Landing checklist. Gear down for green, auto brake, minimum, spoilers armed, flaps 35, EAD is not showing just yet, but will come soon. Landing checklist complete. Okay, here we go. EAD, all green. And that's our landing checklist complete. Alright then. First rays of the sun. Let's hope that the clouds are going to hold so that we don't get flash blinded on short final here. And with that, manual flight. And yeah, look at our pitch. We are easily missing like 2 degrees or so. So I'm going to do what you are normally never supposed to do, but what we have to do today. Let's reduce our speed into the amber band. So that the pitch actually comes up a bit. Look at that. That looks a lot more natural, doesn't it? Continue.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, spoilers, reverse green. Decel. Knots, manual brakes. Bengaluru ground, good evening. Lufthansa Cargo 8366 heavy, vacating 09 left.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366 heavy, welcome to Bengaluru. Vacate right on Alpha. Rapid continue taxiing Alpha.
And right at this
Bravo
moment my headset
4,
shuts off.
Lima 2, stand 40.
Ah, sorry, I had a headset problem. Please say again for Lufthansa Cargo 8366.
Lufthansa Cargo 8366, vacate right on Alpha. Bravo 4, Lima 2, stand 40.
Vacate for Apron Alpha, Bravo 4, Lima 2, stand 40, Lufthansa Cargo 8366. Now, it would have been lovely if we had the chance to use anything there. So, apron 2. And then he wants us on Bravo 4, so we gotta go to the right here.
STRIX 217, no further ATC available. Monitor advisory 122.8. Good day.
Photo advisory 122.8. Thank you for service. Have a great night. Bye.
Too bad we cannot zoom in into that chart here, because that would make it quite a bit easier. So we're vacating here, right hand turn, Bravo 4, Lima 2, stand 40. And up there it says Bravo 4, okay. So that's ours already. Alright, so here's Bravo 4. Come on, keep moving. So Lima 2 is going to be off to the right hand side, and it looks a little bit wet over here. Might have had some rain over the night. Scheduled on block would have been 15, so we're almost on time. I'm happy with that. Okay, so apron... is that apron 2? No, it's not. So Lima 2 off to the right.
Bengaluru ground, hello, fly 11 Lima, are you okay?
Fly 11 Lima, Bengaluru ground, Namaskar, 25.
So this is definitely apron 1, huh? And we cannot select it in GSX. So, lights off, here's stand 40. Okay, then we are parking without GSX guidance. I think it ruined enough of the flight already anyway. So, a couple more meters and stop. Okay, lovely. Parking brake is set. Then we are going to get the ground power. Connect, on, and shut down. 3, 2, and 1. And here we go. Now excited to see what GSX thinks which gate we're on. Parking 40. Why wasn't that listed under... Okay, well, I'm just not gonna ask. Deboarding please, handling by something. And here we go. Engines are running down. Beacon is coming off. We are going to keep it on the external power. Can switch the IRSs off already. Down here, everything's set, everything's set. Squawk 2000, standby. Okay, parking checklist. And I did once again forget to switch the trim to 3 units. Let's see if we can still do it. Nope. Okay, now the remaining hydraulic pressure is used up, but that's fine. Okay, parking checklist. Exterior lights set, anti-ice off, step trim almost set, system display status is checked, and system modes auto, spoilers retracted, flaps and slats up and retracted, fuel switches off, parking brake set, weather radar off, transponder standby, APU air off, parking checklist complete. And with that, my friends, welcome to Bengaluru. Hope you enjoyed it, despite the little problems caused by GSX. I think it was still an awesome and enjoyable flight, and funnily enough, GSX is unloading some crates over here. I mean, don't ask me. We made it here, and that's what counts. Thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.